It was the night before my wife died. She could no longer speak, so she wrote me a letter with shaking hands. I took that letter from her. In 33 years of marriage, it was the first time she'd ever written me one. The moment I unfolded it, I knew this letter would change everything. The first line read,
"I'm sorry. I've known since that night, 20 years ago."
"My name is Jun Park. Today, I'm going to tell you how everything I built over 33 years came crashing down. February 2023. I left my company on the exact date I'd planned. $1 million in savings, a condo in the city, a commercial property generating rental income. At my retirement party, my colleagues looked at me with envy, and they were right to. For 33 years, starting in my early 30s, I'd saved without missing a single month. My investment timing was impeccable. In my notebook, I had itemized living expenses for the next 30 years, down to the dollar. On retirement day, I came home and sat down with my wife. I pulled out travel plans. A month in Europe, a month living in a beach town, generous gifts for the grandchildren. But something was wrong. My wife didn't smile, she just nodded. That night, she sat alone on the living room sofa, staring out the window. Something felt off, but I let it go. A week into retirement, my wife suddenly scheduled a full health screening. This was a woman who avoided doctors her entire life. A woman who'd tough out a cold with over-the-counter medicine. Stranger still, she insisted on going alone. Couple screenings came with a discount, but she refused. The day after her screening, she started organizing the closet without asking me. She pulled out old clothes and packed them into boxes. Said she'd give them to friends. A few days later, she suggested transferring $150,000 into her name for estate tax planning. She said it felt odd, but I agreed. After 33 years of building this together, whose name was on the account, didn't matter. I didn't know then. She was already preparing for death. 3 weeks into retirement, the doorbell rang. A middle-aged man in a tailored suit stood at our door. My wife greeted him warmly. "An old high school classmate," she said. "Mr. Kim," she called him. Mr. Kim sat in our living room and pulled stacks of documents from his briefcase. Real estate consultant, he introduced himself. A redevelopment project in a secondary city. Invest $250,000 no. Triple your money in 3 years. I refused immediately. I'd made a promise to myself, no risky investments after retirement. But my wife showed interest. "Let's just think about it," she said. This from a woman who'd always been more conservative than me. After Mr. Kim left, she pleaded with me. "This is our only chance," she said. "We could leave so much more for the kids." I shook my head. Both our sons were already independent, financially stable. Why was she suddenly talking about leaving them money? That night, I found her crying on the living room sofa. I'd seen her cry 3 times in our entire marriage. 1 month into retirement, pill bottles appeared on her vanity. First 1 or 2. Then they multiplied. 5, 6, 7 bottles. I asked her about them. Health supplements. But I could tell one of them was prescription medication. The hospital name was on the label, covered with a sticker. And she started making nightly phone calls to our older son, behind closed doors. After each call, her eyes were red and swollen. I didn't know what they talked about. Eventually, I gave in to her pleading. We invested $250,000, $150,000 from her account, $100,000 from mine. We wired it to Mr. Kim. The moment I signed the contract, she gripped my hand. Her hand was strangely cold and trembling. That night, I had a strange dream. My wife was walking away from me. I chased after her, but she kept getting farther away. No matter how fast I ran, I couldn't catch up. 2 months into retirement, I called Mr. Kim to confirm the investment deposit. The number didn't work. An automated message. The number you have dialed does not exist. I tried again. Same message. I asked my wife if she had another number for him. Her face went white. That's the only number I have, she said. That was strange. If he was really a high school classmate, why did she only have one number? That's when I finally dug out her high school alumni directory. Her school, her graduating year. There was no Mr. Kim. My blood ran cold. My wife couldn't hide it anymore. She sat on the living room sofa, head down, and spoke.
I'm dying.
The world stopped. She confessed, in a shaking voice. 3 months ago, the screening revealed stage 4 pancreatic cancer. The doctor said she had 6 months to a year. I held her. After 33 years together, her body felt impossibly light. She'd already lost so much weight. Then she dropped the second bomb.
It was a scam.
Mr. Kim was fake. The redevelopment project was fake. The documents were fake. The $250,000 was gone without a trace. She'd already filed a police report, she said. But the scammer had fled overseas. There was no hope of catching him. I couldn't speak. My wife had received a terminal diagnosis, endured that terror alone, and then fallen victim to fraud. But something still felt wrong, like she was hiding something more. Her treatment started. The first month's hospital bill arrived. $40,000. I opened my notebook. Estimated monthly medical expenses, $4,000. 10 times what I'd planned. The doctor explained. Pancreatic cancer involves many treatments not covered by insurance. The newer targeted therapies and immunotherapy drugs aren't covered. The newer the drug, the more expensive. I had insurance, but it wasn't nearly enough. The policy I'd bought 10 years ago couldn't cover even 1 month of treatment. First month, $40,000. Second month, $43,000. Third month, $45,000. In 3 months, $128,000 was gone. Combined with the $250,000 lost to fraud, we'd burned through $378,000. Our $1 million was down to $622,000. That's when our older son called. He'd been laid off from his job. He had loans to pay. Could I lend him $4,000? I explained the situation. I can't help right now, I said. Then my son said something.
But Mom sent me $8,000 2 months ago.
I hung up and looked at my wife. She turned away. I checked the account. The $150,000 transferred into her name. Money had been going out. $8,000 to our older son. $8,000 to our younger son. $4,000 to her younger brother. Total $20,000 already distributed. She'd been secretly giving money to family members. The next day, our younger son came over. He was holding a real estate contract. He'd bought a house, he said. I was shocked. With what money? The money Mom gave me, plus a loan, he said. The loan was for $40,000. But his company's performance was down. Could I co-sign? I refused. We can't. Not with our situation. He looked confused. Mom said it was fine. He said, that night, I checked all of my wife's accounts. $150,000 shad, gone in. $170,000 shad, gone out. Negative $20,000. She'd taken out debt. A credit card loan, 15% annual interest. I sat down on the floor. Fraud, $250,000. Medical bills, $128,000. Her debt, $20,000. Total lost, $398,000. Our million was now down to $602,000. I listed the commercial property for urgent sale. Market value, $250,000. Listed at $208,000. 1 month passed. No calls. 2 months passed. Still nothing. The realtor told me. Secondary markets are dead right now. Even $208,000 is too high. Maybe $125,000? I couldn't respond. My wife's condition deteriorated rapidly. She couldn't walk anymore. Speaking became difficult. The hospital recommended hospice care. There's no more treatment benefit, they said. It's better if she spends her remaining time comfortably. I brought her home. She wanted to spend her last days at home, she said. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. She held my hand. She tried to speak, but no voice came out. She gestured for paper. With trembling hands, my wife wrote a letter, 1 character at a time. It took 20 minutes. I took the letter from her. In 33 years of marriage, she'd never written me a letter before. The moment I read the first line, my heart stopped.
I'm sorry. I've known since that night. 20 years ago. About you and your junior colleague, Michelle Kim. December 2003, your company holiday party. I'd planned to surprise you with a gift. I came to your office building. That's when I saw it. I saw you going into a hotel with her.
I couldn't breathe.
I had proof. I took photos. But I didn't say anything. The kids were young. I wanted to keep the family together. I thought divorce would hurt them more. But that wound stayed inside me for 20 years. Every time you wrote in your retirement notebook, I thought, this man betrayed me. Why should I help plan his comfortable retirement?
My hands shook so badly I could barely hold the letter.
So I decided the money I earned, I'd spend how I wanted, without telling you. When I got the cancer diagnosis, part of me felt relief. Finally, it's over. This pain is ending. This false life with you is ending. The scam. That was because of you too. I was desperate. I wanted revenge. I didn't want you to spend the money I'd saved. So I lost my judgment. I believed Mr. Kim too easily. Now I realize I didn't destroy your retirement. I destroyed our children's future. The money I gave them kept them from becoming independent. Our older son lost his job. Our younger son took out a reckless loan. It's all my fault. I couldn't lift my head. The last line of the letter. I never forgave you. Not in 20 years. Not once. I'm sorry, and thank you. You were a good father. The kids love you. That part was real. What I destroyed wasn't really money. It was trust. The trust you broke 20 years ago, and the trust I couldn't repair for 20 years. I'm sorry. Goodbye.
My wife squeezed my hand. Tears rolled down her face. I cried too. That 20 of our 33 years had been a lie. That she'd carried that pain alone. That I'd had no idea. My wife passed away 3 days later. She held my hand until the very end. At the funeral home, I called my 2 sons in. I told them to return the money their mother had given them. They didn't understand, but I didn't explain what that money really was, what it meant. It wasn't money. It was their mother's 20 years of tears. After the funeral, we had $417,000 left, less than half of what I'd spent 33 years building. I sold the condo and moved to a small town. I'm 69 now. Every night, I dream of my wife. In the dreams, she's always facing away. I reach for her shoulder, but my hand never reaches her. For 33 years, I thought I'd prepared perfectly. I'd saved $1 million. I'd written everything down in my notebook, but I didn't know. The most important thing in retirement planning wasn't money. It was trust. And I lost that 20 years ago. My wife carried that loss alone for 20 years. I didn't know for 20 years. It wasn't $1 million that disappeared. It was trust.
What about you? What is your spouse silently doing right now? Leave your story in the comments.